there, YouTube. I'm back again today for another game review. Today, very excited to check out Triple Yahtzee from Milton Bradley. This is for one or more players, ages 8+. It'll take about, 30 to 45 minutes to play, depending on the player count. It can go even longer with the higher player count. But in Triple Yahtzee, you're going to be playing your typical game of Yahtzee with full houses and straights and Yahtzees and trying to get the most of 4s and 6s and all that sort of stuff. But they've tripled the game, and now whenever you play a game of Triple Yahtzee, instead of just filling in one row, you're actually going to be filling in 3 rows. So you're going to be trying to get 3 full houses and 3 4-of-a-kinds and 3 small straights and 3 large straights. But each row is going to be worth single amounts of points, double amounts of points, and triple amounts of points. So if you get a Yahtzee in that triple row, it's worth 150 points as opposed to just 50 points. They tried to bump up the strategy in the game, but did they succeed? Let's open it up. I'll tell you what I think. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Triple Yahtzee. So first and foremost, we're going to our handy dandy rule sheet. It's pretty much 2 big pages like this. It's got some pictures, some illustrations, and it is not very good. I really had a hard time understanding how this game worked compared to the original Yahtzee. And that's a problem because most people who are interested in this game are going to know the base version of Yahtzee. I think most people would get Yahtzee, then they'd say, man, I really like Yahtzee, so I'm going to try out Triple Yahtzee. And that's your target market there. And I had trouble understanding what was different about this game and what I was supposed to be doing, so much so that we actually played the game wrong the first time, and then I read through the rules because I was like, this is dumb. Wow, this can't just be the differences in the game. Luckily, I eventually ended up figuring it out, but still, the rules should have been a lot clearer. Like, this is, look at it all. We're talking about all this, and then on the back it's like, hey, let's talk to you about small straights and large straights and stuff. And it's like, no, you already talked to me about stuff like that in different spots. Why are you telling me about small straights and large straights again? You already told me about that. It's not a very well laid out rule booklet. So in Triple Yahtzee, though, this is essentially your typical game of Yahtzee, but 3 times longer, because in essence you're playing 3 different games of Yahtzee. So this is your scoring pad right here, and you are going to be filling in all 3 of these. So that's how this is going to work. However, as you roll the dice, you are going to decide where you're putting your numbers. Let's go over the components. Let's get in the gameplay, and it'll become crystal clear after that. So first and foremost, we got your typical Yahtzee stuff. We actually have this nice little insert here, which quiets the dice to make sure they don't roll all around the board. Around the table, I should say. And it's actually pretty nice. I actually do like this a good deal. And you place the things in the little raised spot here, which is unnecessary. But still, this is a nice addition to the game. Next, you're going to get these chips right here. And you're going to get these chips for getting more than one Yahtzee. But it's not that simple. So how it works is there's 3 rows right here. You have the single row, the double row, and the triple row. And you are going to triple your score in the triple row and double your score in the double row and single it here. If you are willing to put your first Yahtzee in the single row, which means it'll get you 50 points as opposed to 150 points here, then you have the potential to start earning these chips once you get your second, third, and fourth Yahtzees, once you get more Yahtzees. So it is sort of a push your luck aspect, because yes, you get that first Yahtzee and boom, you could put it right here for 150 points, or you could put it right here and bank on the fact that you're going to get more Yahtzees to get more points, because the first chip you take is worth 100 points, the second chip you take is worth 200, and the third chip is worth 300 points, which is a huge swing in points. So that's one of the added dimensions to the game. So let's go over exactly what you're going to do on your turn. So like typical Yahtzee, and if you've never played Yahtzee, I'll explain it to you right here. You're going to roll all 5 of your dice, and you're going to decide which of these dice you would like to keep. And you can keep any of them you want. Also, if you decide to keep certain dice, you can change your mind later on. But you're going to roll the dice a grand total of 3 times, unless you're happy with what you have. So right here, 3 5s. I think I will keep my 3 5s right there. That's a pretty solid start. Holy moly. Now I got my 4th, 5th. Let's see if I can get a Yahtzee. That'd be great. No, I did not. So let's look at my options. This is what I ended up having. I have 4 5s and a 6. So the first thing I could do is I could put a 6 in any of these 6 rows, because the upper section is how many 1s you have, how many 2s you have, how many 3s you have. So I could put 6 here, 6 here, 6 here. No one would ever do that because it's just stupid. The most realistic option I could do is I could put 20 here, a 20 here, or a 20 here, because I have 4 5s. And that actually is a very appealing option. The other option I could do is I could put it in the 4 of a kind slot. And with a 4 of a kind, you total up all your dice. So I would actually put a 26 down here, which is actually probably what I would do. So most likely, I think what I would do on this first round is I would go 4 of a kind, and I would put a 26 right there in my triple row. And that's a boatload of points. So I would just pencil in 4 of a kind, 26 right there. And now that slot is filled for the rest of the entire game. So I go again. Let's see what I got. I got 6s and 3s. So you know what? Maybe I'll go for a full house right here. So 6, 3, 3. Roll it up again. I got a 4. That's no good. Roll it up again. I got a 1. And this is a great time to show you what happens sometimes when things do not go right. So my choices, once again, I could put a 12 in any of the 6 rows. I could put a 6 in any of the 3 rows. Or I could put a 1 in any of the 1 rows. I also have the opportunity to use what's called chance down here, which is just where you total up all your dice. And I might actually do that. So 6, 12, 15, 18, 19. So I might just say, you know, bite the bullet. I'm going to put a chance down here because I screwed up on this roll. And I'd probably put it on the first one. So I'd put a chance right here, which means I now only have 2 chances the rest of the game. Anywho, you're going to continue to do this until you've filled all of these in. Now, sometimes what will happen, especially once you get towards the end of the game, is let's just say you have to get a full house, and you don't get the full house, and you then have a choice, and you're like, all right, well, in this particular scenario, my 6s are all filled in, my 3s are all filled in, my 1s are all filled in, my chances are all filled in. Then you have to do what's called zeroing something out, which means you put a 0 in that spot instead. But anywho, once you are done doing all 39 rounds, so you've filled in each and every one of these squares, either with numbers or zeros, you're going to tally up your points. And you'll figure out your combined total right here. For this one, you'll just write there. This one, you'll double. This one, you'll triple. Add it up for your grand total. Whoever has the most points will be the winner of the game. So, in a short conclusion, this is Yahtzee, except you are going to be filling in 3 separate games of Yahtzee, and everything you put here is worth triple, everything you put here is worth double, and everything you put here is worth single. Also, there's a push your luck aspect, where if you're willing to put your first Yahtzee in the actual first Yahtzee box instead of the second and third Yahtzee box, then all your additional Yahtzees will earn you these chips in addition to filling in more Yahtzees, and you can get a lot of points that way. But that, in a nutshell, is what you're going to be doing inside of Triple Yahtzee. Alrighty then, Triple Yahtzee from Milton Bradley. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, game's not going to be for everybody for a variety of different reasons. If you do not like Yahtzee, I don't think this game is going to be for you. Now, it does make some big changes, but the biggest reason why I don't think it's going to be for people who already didn't like Yahtzee is because it triples the length of time it takes to play the game. And that's the biggest con that I have with this game, especially at the higher player counts, 4, 5, 6 players. Oh my gosh, it can drag out and the game can take forever. So that is one big con of the game. Also, it's incredibly repetitive. You're just going to be rolling the dice and rolling the dice and rolling the dice and rolling the dice, rolling the dice over and over and over and over and over and over again. If you're playing solo, 39 times. If you're playing 2 players, 78 times. If you're playing 3 players, then 100 and, math alert, 117 times. And you do it over and over and over and over and over again. Some people are not going to like the repetitive nature of the game. Rules are bad. How do you screw up Yahtzee rules? I don't know. Thanks, Milton Bradley. So I came into this. I've played over 100 games of Yahtzee in my lifetime. No exaggeration. I used to play the snot out of it with my grandma when I was a kid. So I loved Yahtzee when I was a kid. I like Yahtzee now. The rules should have been crystal clear, and they were not. They're confusing. They're disjointed. They're in weird spots where they introduce the new rules. It should have been like, here's the new rules. Like, here's the section on how to play Yahtzee. If you don't know how to play Yahtzee, here's the new stuff right here, because there's not that much new stuff. But instead, they mix it all in. It's all intertwined, and I didn't like how they did the rules. I think they're bad rules. You will figure out how to play the game once you read through them once or twice, but they definitely could have been better. Any other cons that I have the game? I wish the score pads were longer so you could fit more than 2 people on them. So right now, this score pad is only for 2 people, so you have to do that. I also wish they were double-sided, because this is just more stuff on the back that helps you with the player's score instead of, I wish they were double-sided. Another concept of the game, we talked about the time length, we talked about the bad rules. No, moving on to the pros, Triple Yahtzee, and I'll put it this very bluntly, is a Yahtzee killer. Why is it a Yahtzee killer? Here's the biggest reason why. I'm going to give you a little pro tip. You can play regular Yahtzee with this, and you can play Triple Yahtzee with this. That's the biggest reason why. You can, and I'm going to replace my version of Yahtzee with this game because you can literally just use this score pad as a regular version of Yahtzee and just ignore the double and the triple. It's just that simple. And we were doing that in class. Also, I like everything it added to the game. I legitimately do. And I'm just going to get to the recommendation here. If you like Yahtzee, and Yahtzee is one of those games where you sit down and you play 2, 3, 4 games of it, just back to back to back, then yes, I think you're absolutely going to love Triple Yahtzee. I really think you are. If you're not, then this is not for you. It's just that simple. So what I like about Yahtzee, easy to teach, and once you know the rule, it's not easy to learn because the rules aren't good. So it's easy to teach. It's very easy to understand the game. It's just, hey, you know how to play Yahtzee? Good. This adds a couple extra layers to the game. So what are the extra layers? So first and foremost, I like the push your luck aspect with the poker chips because it's like, all right, I have this first Yahtzee. I can put it in the first row and it will score me 50 points. Or I can put it in that third row and it will score me 150 points. But if I put it in that third row, I don't have the potential to get these chips later on. And these chips are worth a lot of points, 100, 200, 300 points, in addition to the points you would get from the Yahtzee itself. So you can score huge bonus points by putting that Yahtzee in that first row, but that's more of a long-term risk. So I really like that aspect of the game. I like this thing right here. It keeps all the dice in there. It quiets the dice rolls, which is great, especially when playing with younger kids. It has a little spot to put the dice, which is neither here nor there. I don't really feel like you need that. So I like the chips. I like that, and I really like the single, double, triple aspect of the game. Because all of a sudden it's like, all right, I have a 9 on 3s. And you're like, well, do I want to put that as my single, my double, or my triple? It gives you an extra choice and an extra thing to think about, and I like that aspect of the game. So in the end, Triple Yahtzee, it's just this simple. Do you like Yahtzee, and do you think you would ever actually play the Triple Yahtzee version of the game? If the answer is yes, then get this and replace your old version of the game because you can still just play regular Yahtzee with this version of the game. If you routinely play, 2, 3, 4, 5 games of Yahtzee, when you play Yahtzee, like it's one of those ones where you just do it over and over and over again, then yes, I absolutely recommend this because the triple version of the game I actually think is a lot of fun. And if you have a group that is willing to sit down and play triple the length of your typical game of Yahtzee, then yes, go for it. For everybody else, no. Keep your old version of Yahtzee or just steer clear of Yahtzee because you hate Yahtzee. Simple as that. So it is Triple Yahtzee from Milton Bradley. Rules are bad. Triples the length of the game, but still, it's Yahtzee Plus, and it kills Yahtzee for me, and I think for just about anybody who's actually interested in Yahtzee. So that is Triple Yahtzee from Milton Bradley, one that I can recommend if you're in those groups that I talked about. Everybody else, get out of here. Why are you still watching a Yahtzee review? If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know, what is your favorite game that uses Yahtzee mechanisms? For me personally, yeah, I feel like I'm just being totally basic right now, but it's still King of Tokyo. I mean, King of Tokyo is still in my top 10 games of all time. I still love the crap out of King of Tokyo, and it just takes this mechanism, adds an extra dice, turns in claws, and if you never played King of Tokyo, highly recommend checking that one out at your local Target. You will instantly feel familiar because it has the Yahtzee mechanism. But mine is King of Tokyo. Let me know in the comments below what is your favorite game with the Yahtzee mechanism. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.